Hello, I am Mackenzie, and this is La Collector, the art scene delivered. Every week, I'm here to help you navigate the art world with a little more confidence, a little more taste, and a lot less intimidation. And today, we're talking about the question I get more than any other. Like truly, if I had $1 for every time someone asked me this, I'd probably buy myself a Kusama pumpkin. Where do I buy art? More specifically, where do I buy art that's actually good and doesn't cost a fortune? And listen, we're not doing that whole gatekeeping thing where people just pretend that affordable art doesn't exist, because it absolutely does. I'm here to level with you guys. Here is the honest truth. It takes time. You can't just walk into one store and buy 5 pieces, throw them on your walls, and call it a collection. That's how you end up with a space that looks like a hotel lobby or IKEA. Pretty, but zero personality. And that's why people hire art advisors, interior designers, decorators, you name it. They help you build a space where the pieces actually feel like they're in conversation with each other, with the room, the architecture, the energy, you. Because if you're buying art, whether it's the first piece or the start of a real collection, it should feel like you. It should hit that part of your chest and you think, oh my gosh, it's mine. If there's no emotional connection, then honestly, what are we doing here? So today, we're going to break this down into 2 parts. Part 1, the how to approach buying art on a normal person budget without spiraling. And part 2, the where, the types of places where affordable art actually lives and what you can expect from each. And I actually made a curated map of New York art galleries and museums just for you guys. It's always being updated because the art scene changes constantly. But it's linked in the show notes and also on my Instagram. So think of this as your chic little compass to the NYC art world. All right, let's get into it. Part 1, how to buy art without losing your freaking mind, okay? This is the part people want to skip, and I get why. It's not as sexy as, where can I buy something for $200? But trust me, this is the foundation. If you don't know how to look, then the where definitely won't save you. Okay, so first things first, start with curiosity, not pressure. Buying art is not like buying furniture. When you move in, you need your couch, you need your bed pretty immediately. But here, we don't necessarily need your art to match your couch, okay? You're buying something that will live with you, something that's emotional, special. So start noticing what colors pull you in. Do you love texture, big scale, lots of negative space? Do you gravitate towards figurative work? Or maybe something more abstract? Curiosity is your best friend here. All right, next, look at a lot of art. And I mean a lot before you buy anything. This is literally why I made the gallery map. You can't develop taste if you never put your eye out in the field. It would be like if you walked into a pool and took a dive into the deep end without swimming lessons. Not recommended. So walk into galleries, scroll through emerging artists on Pinterest, visit the student shows. You'll sharpen your eye faster than you think, and it becomes fun, like a game. By month 2, you'll be like, oh wait, I actually hate textured acrylic pours. Who knew? All right, next up, don't chase investment, chase connection. If you want to invest, buy a stock. If you want to collect, buy something that makes you stop, something that shifts your breathing or makes you smile or confuses you in a good way. A lot of affordable art appreciates over time, but that's not the reason you should buy it. The connection is the value. Next, small doesn't mean safe, it means smart. So don't feel pressured to buy that giant canvas as your first piece. A tiny drawing can be the most powerful thing in a room. Works on paper, beautiful. Small paintings, gorgeous. Little sculptures, so chic. Scale does not equal importance here. Now, this is probably the hardest to learn. Get comfortable asking questions. If you're in a gallery or studio or chatting with the artist via DM, ask, what's the story behind the piece? What materials did you use? Is this part of a series? Or do you have any smaller works available? Artists love talking about their work. The other little hint here is the more questions you ask, they actually might show you something that isn't on the website, that isn't on their portfolio page, that isn't showing in the gallery. They might be able to pull something they're working on or just finished and aren't promoting yet. So you may be able to find something that isn't even out. Now, please, for the love of God, look beyond Instagram art. If it only looks good on a phone, it might not hold up in real life. And this is why, if you're able to, looking in person matters, especially if you're going to spend a pretty penny on this. Texture, scale, presence. You'll want to see that in person before you spend those bigger dollars. Now last, budget reality check, you guys. Affordable art usually lives somewhere between the $100 and the $2,000 range, and there is amazing artwork at every single point in that range. So say it with me now, everybody. You do not need a comma to have taste. Amazing. Now that we've grounded ourselves, let's talk about places. Let's get into it. Part 2, where to find affordable art. Now, these are the categories I always recommend. They're reliable, they're interesting, and the biggest thing, they do not break the bank. Open studios, the hidden trophy. This is my #1 recommendation because the prices are real, the artists are accessible, and the experience is just fun. You're walking through big shared buildings, you're meeting the artists face to face, seeing the work in progress, sketches taped to walls, canvases on the floor, and you're buying directly from the artist without the gallery markup. So a few iconic ones to get you guys started is Bushwick Open Studios in New York. Chaotic, vibrant, full of new discoveries. Greenpoint Open Studios, also in New York. They have lots of paintings, so great if you're traveling, and very beginner friendly. Now, if you're in LA, I would definitely go to Frogtown Art Walk. It's outdoorsy, creative, low pressure, really fun little Sunday activity. And then if you're in Chicago, the West Loop Open Studios is lofty studios, great energy. Honestly, a great spot to go. If you're not in a major city, just search your city plus open studios, and I am sure you'll find something. The price range here is from $50 to probably $1,500. Always ask if the artist has smaller works tucked away, because they usually do. Next is the artist-run spaces. So this is where the future of artwork is being made. These are the cool experimental spaces that show artists before the big galleries scoop them up. Think project spaces, collective-run galleries, apartment shows, pop-up exhibitions. A few examples are Tiger Strikes Asteroid. This can be found in LA, New York, Chicago, and Philadelphia. Soho 20 in New York is this feminist, community-based place. You need to check it out. And then Human Resources in LA. It's very conceptual, very fun. The works tend to be fresher, riskier, a bit more playful. If that's your style, definitely a great place to start. The price range here is anything from $100 all the way to that $2,000. Why I love these is because you get to see these artists before they really blow up. So you're getting to see something that might go to a gallery later, or an artist who might actually appreciate and value. So this is a really good one if you're looking for something that might resell over time. And things like pretty established artists, I would say, make it to this level. All right, small fairs are the places where you find actual discoveries. These are not the Frieze or the Armory. Don't worry, I'm not going to be sending you there, because those are big art fairs and the prices go quite a bit higher than what we're talking about today. So they're great for people watching, less great for affordable shopping. But these fairs that I'm going to walk you through, you can actually buy something and not cry afterward or get in trouble with your spouse. The ones that we're looking at today are the Other Art Fair. There's multiple locations in New York, LA, Dallas, Chicago. The Superfine Art Fair, also in New York, LA, Miami, DC. And then the Future Fair here in New York. It's small, curated, super chic, really fun time of year to go. And then the Academic Gems. These thesis shows are incredible. Check out any major university or college. Their art program fairs are awesome, and the artist would be so excited and happy to have their pieces bought and shared with more than just their art class. So it's a really amazing way to not only support emerging artists. By emerging, I mean like still in college, but really spark that fresh life, and some really exciting ideas come out of university. I would highly recommend checking these out. Now these shows, they're electric, they're really fun. Most of the time the students are there, and you're literally watching the future form. So it's pretty cool. Now, the price range here is from like $50 up to $4,000 if they're rising stars, but most of the prices are in the low hundreds. All right, next one, this is kind of an unexpected one, might be new for some of you. Print shops and edition studios. I like to call this the secret entry because you can find original prints. I'm talking lithographs, etchings, silk screens. They're one of the smartest ways to start collecting because they're original works. They're not posters, and they give this edge factor to them as well. They oftentimes incorporate different shapes, ideas, and even text, which can really bring a work to life and build a collection in a really, really meaningful way. Some places worth noting are Lower East Side Print Shop in New York, the Tamarind Institute in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's legendary, which is the reason why I am mentioning it. And then Chicago Printmakers Collective in Chicago. Now, every city has a printmaking center, and they're always underrated. So definitely type it and look it up wherever you are. The price range here will go anywhere from about that $60 range to $1,500, and they often frame beautifully. Now, the last one, and this is probably the one that most people know of and have looked for, and of course, in the digital age, it's the curated online platforms. But let me tell you, it's not the wild, wild west anymore, and there's some amazing places to look that are not Etsy. No hate on Etsy. You can actually find some really great artists on Etsy, but the internet is definitely full of garbage, and there are some good corners. So let me clue you in. You want to look for small artist collectives, independent platforms, or online sections of fairs, because those are going to be the most true to form and not reproduction. Some platforms that I trust are Pan Collective, one of my absolute favorites. The budget here can get pretty high because they have some amazing artists on here, but they're LA-based and very design-forward. So this is something that we would use for commercial properties and things like that. Highly recommend to Pan Collective. The next one is Uprise Art. This is super beginner-friendly. So this is a great place to look around and just start scoping. You might find some real hidden gems in here. Now, last one is Artspur. This houses mainly European galleries at some very surprising price points. So getting more of that global scale because it's digital, and why not? The price range here goes from $150 all the way up to $3,000, and I would say even higher on some of the platforms just because they do support artists that have a little bit more of a following and have some pieces that are priced a bit higher. But you can find everything in that range. Now, using online is a great way to discover new artists, but always ask for videos or close-ups before you buy. All right, now the last one that I'm going to mention here is nonprofit benefit sales. Incredible work at great prices, you guys. People forget about these, but they're some of the best deals in the art world. Local museums, art centers, and nonprofits host annual sales where artists donate work. Now, you'll get affordable pieces, real quality. A few places to hit are Brooklyn Arts Council, Hunter College MFA Benefit Auction, and any regional museum fundraisers are really great places. So if you guys type those in, you'll start to see some incredible pieces. The price range here is from around $50 all the way up to $2,500 plus. Before we wrap, I know I chatted about this at the beginning of the episode, but I get this question so often, where do I start looking for art? And that's really why I created the gallery map. It's a curated map of my favorite New York City galleries and museums. It's not just the big ones, it's the accessible ones too. The ones you can walk into on your lunch break, the ones showing emerging artists, the ones that build your eye for free, and of course, the ones you absolutely shouldn't miss. It's linked in the show notes and will be on my Instagram as well. Use it for weekend wandering, for when your parents are visiting, or for those Saturdays when you just want to feel 10% more cultured. All right, and that's your starter guide, guys. The how and the where of buying affordable art. So remember, you don't need a huge budget, you don't need connections, and you don't need permission. You just need curiosity. You need a willingness to explore, and you need taste, which clearly you already have. This week, just pick one category: open studios, a print shop, a small fair, a project space, anything. Walk in, look around, and notice what is calling to you. And if you find something you love, DM me. I really love seeing people fall in love with their first piece or with their next favorite piece. So until next time, happy looking, happy collecting, and don't forget to check out the map. Ciao.